Welcome back to the Dragon Den, my loyal Dragonites. King of Dragons 5000 is back with another action figure review. Today we'll be taking a look at the Hasbro Marvel Legends Target exclusive, Warbird. So here we have Warbird posed and out of the packaging, and she looks very beautiful here. Before we have a look at her details, let's run through her accessories. Warbird does have two gorgeous head sculpts which look really good, as well as two pairs of hands along with some fire effects for her arms. Other than that, Warbird doesn't come with any other accessories, so with that out of the way, let's have a closer look at her details. Hasbro has done a really good job giving us this version of Warbird, and it has to be one of their best attempts at the character. She is very beautiful here in her classic costume, and it comes together nicely. Taking a look at the head sculpt, she has a very beautiful face and one of Hasbro's best head sculpts. The domino mask that she is wearing is painted really cleanly, and I love the way her blue eyes look here. Along with her beautiful blue eyes, Hasbro did include some makeup with some eyeshadow, some rouge on her cheeks, and some lipstick. And her beautiful blonde hair is flowing off to the side, where Hasbro actually added some painted detail here. She does have on her classic black costume, which is done really nicely in this really gorgeous glossy black plastic. She is wearing her classic black outfit, which looks really good in the matte plastic Hasbro went with. And on the front of her costume you can see the gold Marvel insignia, which goes from the top of her neck all the way down to her hip. And I do like the fact that her outfit does look like stretched fabric over muscle, which looks really good here on Warbird. She does have some pretty good definition here on her arms, although you can see where Hasbro made the flesh tone plastic and the flesh tone paint. And because the arms are reused, there's no folds or wrinkles on her gloves, it's just definition of her muscles. Around her waist, Warbird is wearing this red sash, which Hasbro has sculpted wonderfully. A little paint would have brought out all those impressive details, but it's still pretty noticeable here. I do like the front of her waist. You can actually see some stretching in the fabric, which looks good, and some of her more prominent features are very visible here. The hips here on Warbird are done in flesh colored plastic, which looks good, especially with her boots being painted in black. I do like the fact that the top of her boots are actually sculpted detail, which is something Hasbro is starting to do with most of their figures now. But once again, her lower legs are reused, so we don't get any folds and wrinkles in her boots, it's just definition of her muscles once again. However, when we get to the feet, you can see that Hasbro sculpted some detailing here in her shoes, which we do have folds and wrinkles here. So overall, some great detailing here on Warbird, and everything looks perfect here with the character. Although they don't do a good job color matching the flesh colored paint with the plastic, it still looks good here on Warbird. With the paint and details out of the way, let's compare Warbird to our usual suspects. Here we have Warbird posed next to a Marvel Legends Cyclops and DC Multiverse Superman, Mattel's WWE Elite Series and Mezco's 112 Collective Popeye the Sailor Man. And finally we have her posed next to a Lightning Collection White Ranger and a Star Wars Black Series Mandalorian. So as you can see, the body proportions here on Warbird fits in with most 1/12 scale figures, and I especially love the way she fits in with the Marvel Legend collection. With the comparisons out of the way, let's have a look at Warbird's articulation. Warbird does have a ball joint in the head and a hinge in the neck. Butterfly joints in her shoulders. Arms go out to the side and do a full 360. A swivel in the bicep and double hinged elbows. Hinge and swivel at her wrists. Warbird has a ball joint in her upper torso and a reverse ab crunch. Her legs do kick forward, go back, out to the side, and have a mid-thigh swivel. She has a double bend in her knee. Finally, she has a hinge in the ankle and forward-facing pin for rocker. So overall, some pretty great articulation here on Warbird, and it is good to see Hasbro stepping up the articulation for their female figures. So with everything said and done about the Marvel Legends Warbird, let's get her posed for my final thoughts. It's good that Hasbro went back to the drawing board with some of their older figures and giving us these brand new figures with so much better articulation. There was nothing wrong with that old Warbird figure, however the articulation is a little bit outdated and she does have some classic Hasbro problems. On top of having some great articulation, the paint and detail here on Warbird is very good, and coming from out of Hasbro, it's really clean. My favorite feature of this figure has to be these beautiful head sculpts that Hasbro has given us, as each one has its own unique charm. It is good to see some variety in her head sculpts, as we do have the thinner domino mask on one head sculpt and the thicker one on the other. In the future, I would love to see Hasbro implement some interchangeable hair for their female figures, giving us the best of both worlds with interchangeable heads and hair. Now, I unfortunately did miss out on that original Warbird figure, and I really did want it in my collection, but I wasn't willing to pay the secondhand market for it. I am glad that I waited all these years for Warbird, as Hasbro knocked it out of the park with this release. The one major drawback with Warbird is that she happens to be a Target exclusive, and Target hasn't had the best track record with their exclusive figures. If you're lucky enough to come buy this figure in store, don't pass up on her, and if you can get her online, definitely pick her up. With that being said, don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel, and check out the rest of my Marvel Legend videos. If you're in a position to help out the Dragon Den, check out my Patreon, where I have some exclusive content and early access videos. Check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure photos, videos, recent pickups, latest prints, and as always, ring that bell so you never miss another video. And until next time, my loyal Dragonites coming from the Dragon Den, I'm King of Dragons 5000, reminding you to redesign, rebuild, and reclaim. I'll see you next time.